From Dana White's thoughts on the potential for a Conor McGregor lightweight title fight, to more details on the shooting and arrest involving UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez, all this and more in today's MMA Rumor. Let's get to it. 1. Could Conor McGregor get a title shot upon his return? Dana White says it depends who the champion is. There's been a lot made about Conor McGregor saying he'd love to get back in the cage and fight for a title. He should thank lightweight champion Charles Oliveira for that. Oliveira, after beating Dustin Poirier this past December at UFC 269 via submission, had stated that he wanted big money fights, the kind of fights that could make him a wealthy man, and he named Conor McGregor. Fighting opposite McGregor will get you the types of paydays that Oliveira is looking for. While McGregor is still recovering from a broken leg, he's looking ahead and thinking about fighting for a title. In a recent interview, he even stated that Oliveira should wait a few months until McGregor is healthy so they can fight it out in the octagon for the belt. However, there's a little snag with that plan as Oliveira is slated to defend his lightweight title against number 1 contender Justin Gaethje at UFC 274 in April. Still, this hasn't stopped the MMA media from pontificating whether McGregor could skip the line and indeed fight for a title, much to the charge of other more worthy contenders like Islam Makhachev. Still, if you ask UFC President Dana White, he says that it depends. In a recent interview, White was asked whether he could justify having McGregor fight for a title, even though he hasn't beaten anyone in the top of the division in several years and has lost 3 of his last 4 fights, let alone having taken a year off due to injury. This is what White said.
Well, it's going to depend on who the champion is. The champion has some say in that too. You know what I mean? Who's going to be the champ when Conor McGregor comes back? And what do they want to do? I mean, if you look at Oliveira, right? You know, if it's still Oliveira by the time he comes back, maybe Oliveira wants Conor. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Dana White said there's a lot that needs to happen in order to get McGregor back to the octagon, namely to find an event for him to fight, make sure he's 100% physically fit and medically cleared to do so, and to have the lightweight title picture figured out. Makhachev, who beat Bobby Green last weekend at UFC Vegas 49, is already entrenched as the next title challenger who is set to take on the winner of the Oliveira vs. Gaethje title fight. But what do you think? Do you feel that McGregor should jump the line and fight for a title? Or do you disagree and think that he needs to go on a run like everyone else to earn it? Let us know in the comments. 2. Cain Velasquez arrested on suspicion of attempted murder over sexually abused relative. The news hit the MMA world like a freight train as former UFC heavyweight champion and WWE superstar Cain Velasquez was arrested by police in California on Monday over a shooting that took place in San Jose. He's been detained and charged with attempted murder, and police say it's all due to a recent revelation made by one of his relatives, a child. Last week, reports say that Velasquez's relative, who will remain unidentified due to their age, had come forward and revealed they were being sexually abused by a man named Harry Eugene Golarte, a 43-year-old man who lives in the same building where his mother operates and owns a daycare facility. The child said that Golarte had sexually abused them while at the daycare, reports say as many as 100 times. Golarte was arrested by police last week and charged with 1 count of a lewd and lascivious act with a child under 14. But on Friday, against the prosecutor's wishes, he was granted supervised release by the Santa Clara County Court. Then, on Monday afternoon, Velasquez allegedly shot at the car that had Golarte inside, along with his stepfather and 1 other person. The shot hit the stepfather, and while they were hit, they suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Velasquez was subsequently arrested and charged with attempted murder. His arraignment is scheduled for Wednesday, and he could be facing 15 years in prison if found guilty, although more details about the whole situation are expected to come out during the arraignment and in the following days. Velasquez, who last fought in the UFC in 2019, is considered one of the greatest heavyweight MMA fighters in history, known for his bruising wrestling and seemingly limitless gas tank, especially for a heavyweight. What do you make of the whole situation? Before we get to our next story, take a second to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest fight news. 3. Renato Moicano to replace Rafael Fiziev and Rafael Dos Anjos' 5-round catchweight fight. Just a few days before Rafael Fiziev was set to take on Rafael Dos Anjos in the UFC 272 co-main event, Fiziev tested positive for COVID-19 and was forced to withdraw from the highly anticipated Battle of the Rafas. Fiziev was on a roll in the UFC, coming off a spectacular knockout of Brad Riddell in December and on a 5-fight winning streak. But with Fiziev out, the UFC began scrambling to find a replacement. Islam Makhachev, fresh off his win over Bobby Green over the weekend, had raised his hand to replace Fiziev, but ultimately couldn't come to an agreement with the promotion. But now, the UFC has tapped lightweight Renato Moicano to step in to fight Dos Anjos on short notice in a 5-round catchweight fight at 160 pounds. Moicano, who is flying in from Brazil to fight at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas this Saturday night at UFC 272, is fresh off a win over Alexander Hernandez at UFC 271 just 2 weeks ago via submission in the second round. Before that, he beat Jai Herbert via rear naked choke as well last July. He'll put his 2-fight winning streak on the line against the former lightweight champion Dos Anjos, who hasn't fought since November 2020 when he retired Paul Felder and beat him via unanimous decision. What do you think about this clash between Moicano and Dos Anjos? How do you think this fight will go? And do you think this fight will go to distance? If not, which round you calling it? Let us know down in the comments below. There's always so much going on in the fight world, and we got it all here for you on MMA Rumor. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell to keep updated with all things MMA. Thanks for watching.